The second half of the European Le Mans Series for 2025 bursts into life in great sunshine here at Spa-Francorchamps, and it is a good getaway for the poleman Jem Bollock-Bashy, who charges his way into La Source. PJ Hyatt's been delayed, though, it looks like, in the AO by TF Sport car for LMP2 Pro-Am. He started second, don't forget, and that movement around in the order of the LMGT3s that put Duncan Cameron at the sharp end. It did look like he led Clement Matter, leaving La Source for the first time, but no doubt about it, the man from Turkey has got the jump on Jonas Reed, who in the yellow car is second ahead of Ollie Gray. Gray's not going to waste any time if he can attack and ideally overtake Jonas Reed in the first few corners. They're already through the first sector, though. One or two have been delayed, no doubt about it, but no huge drama at La Source. I say that tentatively. Now there's the contact, though, and this is at Bruxelles, and that was for one of the CLX cars, 47 of Sebastian Alvarez, who loses places as a result. Graham Goodwin.
Yeah, actually, it looked like there was far more delay to PJ Hyatt than actually there was. He has got away, but second, he's lost the lead to the other Nielsen Racing car. So Nielsen Racing, in the hands of John Falb in the 27 car, 24 and 27 lead both the LMP2 classes on this first lap. Yellows at turn 8. And that's for the number 3 car. Trouble for D-Car Engineering. That's Georgios Kolovos struggling. PJ Hyatt, whatever happened at turn 1, I think it was his car, he's lost the lead.
But Roda was pole, wasn't he? Roda was pole, and he's dropped to 7th place. So did Roda and PJ Hyatt hook up with one another into the hairpin, which is always that startling first corner of Spa-Francorchamps. I say always, the 24-hour race doesn't actually start like that. They head downhill first of all, but yes, it's always that, you know, you rev up through the gears and then immediately onto the brakes and have to try and make space for one another.
Georgios Kolovos, by the way, is dropping to the back of this field. We've got 2 penalties to be added. This is for issues earlier in the weekend. Car 35, the ultimate LMP3 car, car 34, which is one of the 2 Inter-Europol cars, will have 5 seconds added to their first pit stop. We'll deal with that when it comes. Right now, plenty of action, and this is the A by TF car, and this is PJ Hyatt trying to get onto terms with Sebastian Alvarez, and it is Hyatt back to the lead in LMP2 Pro-Am.
He's got ahead of John Falb, so yeah, and Giorgio Roda is now at the back of the LMP2 Pro-Am car, so it becomes curiouser and curiouser precisely what the issue is for the Italian, and indeed whether he's managed to entirely shake that problem.
Right now, there's trouble there for one of the Inter-Europol cars, clattering over the curbs and losing 2, 3, 4 places as the number 77 car starts to recover back. Already passed Francois Perodo, Giorgio Roda, and now has gone by Crichton Tunis as well, who struggled out of La Source there. And in this phase of the race, Jonas Reed has gapped Ollie Gray here. Here comes Martin Berry. He takes another position, so that's him up to 3rd place now. Good recovery back through the field from Martin. His next target is going to be Celia Martin, and immediately under pressure, Duncan Cameron from the Proton competition car of our European Le Mans Series debutant, Antares Au.
Yeah, and Au needs to strike now, really, with Duncan Cameron a little bit on the back foot. So did Cameron fight this necessarily? He was aware of the Mercedes presence, but didn't jink across the line. You're going to lose more time than anything, to be honest, by doing that. Duncan will have been aware of the speed that the Mercedes carries this weekend, so didn't force the issue, knowing that the race will come back to him and his teammates potentially much, much later on in the afternoon.
Duncan will be working to a delta time set for him, agreed with him. Against their strategy, of course, he'll want to defend positions where he can, but quite often he's going to find that that delta time is going to suffer more from defending his position.
And it's always interesting when the silvers take over, when the golds take over, how each one fares, because they're not always put in at the same time either. There's the natural stagger. Here's Ollie Gray's opportunity though at Bruxelles. There was a little bit of a gap down the inside of Jonas Reed, but when Reed picks up the throttle, the GR Racing Ferrari preventing him from going fully into turn 9, but it did mean that he could take the inside line. Ollie Gray getting the better exit out of the Jackie X left-hander though. again, good defensive driving from Jonas Ried, but as a result of him being in defensive mode, it's not the quickest approach into Pouon. Slight delay behind the 57 Kessel Racing Ferrari as well of Takeshi Kimura. But because it's so busy with all this GT traffic, Gray is struggling to find that extra bit of racetrack that he needs, even though he had good attempts at an overtake. Still in third. Yeah,
I have to say, good stuff from Ollie Gray. Better stuff there from Jonas Ried. Heads up stuff throughout that little sequence. On the inside, Francois Perrodo on Daniel Schneider. That's a position going the way of, well, one of the most successful AM drivers in this or any other field. Francois Perrodo, multiple titles pretty much everywhere in GT and LMP2.
Because he's got clear line of sight now of the American.
More traffic, and is this another opportunity for Ollie Gray? It's a good place to actually get the run, but again, Jonas Ried, neat and tidy, got the right line. He's going to be safe down to Rouge, up over Radion, but there is traffic at the peak there. Is that going to compromise Jonas Ried? It's a better run, but was he off track to get it from Ollie Gray? Tucks into the slipstream down the Camel Straight, goes to the inside. Is this the pass for the position? He's on the grass. I think he might have got it here, Johnny.
Ried couldn't do anything about it. He was trying to close the door, but it was far, far too late. We cut away to see the two co-drivers. I just wanted to be confident that Gray had made the second bit of Lecombe, which he did. He ran out a little bit wide, and actually Malaysia was, I think, in the same mindset as me, in that he thought, hang on, just make sure he goes through that corner, which is turn 6. And second place is now in the hands of Oliver Gray. Jonas Ried probably knew the game was up over the next few laps, because Gray, the more manoeuvrable of the two cars, and the championship leaders are up to second. They trail the race leader Jem Bolok-Bashi by 4.6 seconds.
Making himself known to Rodrigo Salas. He dives up the inside in classic form. I think he's going to make that pass pretty easily at this stage. Nice move from Perrodo, and he is up to 4th place.
So Sales thought about an overtake almost straight away.
Did it?
Got back past the head of Francois Perrodo. Stayed within the track limits. I think he just about did as well.
Nicely done. What happened here? That was what did it. It was a bit of a fumble from Francois Perrodo, and that gave the opportunity for Rodrigo Salas to get the better straight line speed along the Camel Straight.
But yes, Salas is ahead of Perrodo. He's now going to have to serve a drive-through penalty, though, for his part in what I assume was an incident at the first corner on the first lap.
With the AO Racing car.
We mentioned that PJ Hyatt had been delayed and weren't entirely sure why. Is that a lead change with Gray now ahead of the silver car of Jem Bolok-Bashi? So that's all happened very swiftly as well. Bolok-Bashi,
Same place.
He slowed because he'd got cars ahead of him in LMP3. And then was a little bit indecisive. Gray wasn't, though, to the high side, and picked him off well before the corner, and that was all because of Jem getting off the throttle in order to avoid, I think, the 11 car, the Euro International car of Fabien Michal.
Well, this is the 29, but this is not the penalty stop.
Indeed.
Because you're not allowed to take service of the penalty. And this is not a straightforward stop either. They may have a puncture.
He played the traffic beautifully. Forced Jem Bolok-Bashi to the right-hand side of the track and forced Jem to make a decision. Now, looking out, we witnessed the start of the race,
now.
And that's how Giorgio Roda got delayed as well. So what it did was push PJ Hyatt's car across the bows of the 77, and it meant that Roda could go nowhere. He started from pole, but all of a sudden the track was blocked to him because PJ Hyatt had been pushed by Rodrigo Salas into his path.
It also explains, by the way, why PJ, despite the fact we saw him crawling out of La Source, lost so little time, because he was hit so hard, he actually passed LMP2 class cars to the apex.
Yep. And that was the incident of Sebastian Alvarez.
That was the EDEC car, wasn't it? I think that was the
EDEC
EDEC car.
With a 2 EDEC car, so it was the red and black car, which is 28. Yeah, okay. So Pro-Am car and the 17 CLX LMP3 car.
Well, that's good news for the LMP3 race and championship leaders.
Indeed.
Meantime, it's busy here in traffic. Duquesne defending from Inter Europol. So that is Benji Pedersen with Kuba Shpakowski. And Kuba has got the better line here, takes that position. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. Through he goes into that lead. Now the 29 comes through for what will be, I'm sure, the drive-through penalty.
So an out-lap for Rodrigo Sales becomes an in-lap for Rodrigo Sales, and a run through the pit lane which will take about 25 seconds or so.
We're seeing here, that's a big run through the gravel again from the 28 car. It's always shorter as we're watching Watt here. That is a bit of an off-track moment for Giorgio Roda.
Oh, and then he was hit the pit lane.
That might well be a penalty. Got to be the right side of that. So that will, I'm sure, be looked at. Oh, trouble for the 31 car.
That's Jacques Wolf, unless we've had a driver change. No, none of the LMP3s have stopped yet. So car 31 and starting driver Jacques Wolf in the gravel at Le Com corner, right at the end of the first sector.
That might need some intervention. In comes Jonas Reed, also in, Matthias Kaiser. Now, let's see what they do to intervene here. There's potential advantage for people want a pit stop. And what happened here by himself?
Difficult to tell, because the pink car of, was that Trobodini?
I think that was...
Was it the second of the pink cars, Tim Kresick? Either
When
way,
I saw it, I thought that was the M Racing car.
Well, Tribodini should have been ahead. Of course, they've not. Yeah, now Kresick's gone through the next split, and that's where we see Jacques Wolf drop down the order. But the order of the LMP3 cars as they reach the end of the Camel Straight was Tribodini ahead of Jacques Wolf. So I think you're right that was likely to be Tim Kresick. Was Tim too far back for there to have been any contact between the two? As more pit stops in LMP2. Oh, virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car is coming in 40 seconds.
Automatically means we'll get a safety car after it. Therefore,
standby for a virtual safety car in 30 seconds. On standby for a virtual safety car in 25 seconds.
That's a massive foot up for Jembolek Bashi.
And also for the teams that haven't so far stopped.
True. Because everybody else is going to be doing 80 kilometers per hour, and if you've not made a stop yet, you are allowed to do that under a VSC.
It includes Georgios Kolovas, who currently leads, just pits now, and the CLX Pure Racing car.
Virtual safety car, virtual safety car.
So at the moment, courtesy of not having stopped, Georgios Kolovas led LMP2 Pro-Am, pitted just before the virtual safety car came out, which, by the way, he can do, pit stay open. Leading the race is Alex Malikin, by dint of the fact that he has not stopped yet. He will now stop, while the rest of the field, who have just stopped, may decide to come in and top up with fuel if they want to. There's one or two that might well decide to do that, but he will do his full pit stop under virtual safety car conditions, and will lose less track time than anybody else.
No overtaking before the line. Bashi actually thought about an overtake and then remembered he couldn't do it into the bus stop chicane.
Maybe someone was just reminding him.
Quite possibly so. So this is a second opportunity now for Bolek Bashi to be involved in this lead fight. Huge gain for the 37 car, though, of Alexander Malikin. We touched on that during the pit stop phase. Down the inside will go the Vector Sport Ryan Cullen car on Malikin. So wasting no time there. The 37 car need to, having had a difficult start to the season, need to try and get a good result after this huge advantage in the opening safety car phase, Graham.
It's a massive opportunity, isn't it, for the team, having really failed to get going this season. Next under pressure from the team car, the 47 car of Sebastian Alvarez. But the time they've saved with this and the positions they've gained up the inside.
Oh, that was robust on Jonas. A little bit of contact there.
That was quite late.
It was very late, but he was very direct with his move. And that was very, very late. I'm not sure what they're going to say there. Because Jonas had to take to the escape road.
Well, that's going to help Ollie Gray ahead of this pair, isn't it? That's delayed them by a few more tenths. You can see the gap that's built up. Ollie Gray got the loud pedal at the optimum moment, past us 8 tenths ahead, and this is going to be a wider gap by the time we get to the next timing.
Nielsen have certainly seen an upturn in speed and form this weekend, and having both of their Pro and Pro-Am cars at the front. Admittedly, it was a wet qualifying, but they seem to be running there at the front on merit now, which is good to see. Also closed back up, of course, but sticking with the leader this time. Celia Martin, having tried to work back from what was a 6-second gap at one point, got it back to about 2.7, then
drew back out to about 4.5. This time sticking with it. Also Martin Berry. Remember, Martin was the first driver in the pass-around, so he'd effectively lost a lap before the pass-around process. Yeah. That's why we have it. Yeah. And there he is in a battle for second position.
United. 22, possibly. I think it's the red-roofed LMP2 car.
Dragged off.
And
just wiggled, lost it, and all the way through. And then it had a big snap, and then he's a passenger all the way through.
That's a big hit.
Oh, straight into the tyre barrier there. But you could see the car snap as he came off of the apex.
It's Manuel Maldonado.
Yeah, so safety car. The 22 car.
Safety car immediately scrambled, correctly so.
And no need for a virtual safety car.
The trouble as well.
So was that as things slowed down coming out of Blanchimont, or no, the car losing it again?
Is it DKR?
I thought it was Roda.
No, it's Roda, you're right.
I'm not sure. Who's dropping down the order?
The 77 car of Roda's reached the line, so it can't be Giorgio Roda.
Is it the Nielsen car?
Is it John Falb in 27? It looked a little bit like a Nielsen car.
So those two accidents were very, very similar.
It's Falb.
John Falb in the 27, who had led previously in this race, the LMP2 Pro-Am field. We were already into a safety car before that happened, or maybe both occurred, and then the decision to go in a safety car. To be honest, either one of those incidents would have caused this intervention. But unlike the earlier stoppage, we're not going to go virtual safety car. Good to see Manuel Maldonado out of a very battered 22 car. The tyre wall sort of doing its job. The danger is you go in with such energy, it actually pings you back out and almost back to the racetrack again. But the gravel trap stopped any further progress.
He lost it on the rear, he's in on the curb, he's gone through the gravel, then it's a snap that he goes back on the tarmac, and then he's a passenger all the way into the tyre barrier. Huge, huge accident. That's most probably pinged the sensor that's in the car that he's going to need to go off and be assessed.
Yeah, looks to me what's happened there. I think it's a little bit of backing up and maybe a bit of a fumble by... What's happened here? That's the 57 car.
San is just backing up, and then it's everybody's that come over the crest there.
That's it.
Oh,
it's backing up.
So completely unsighted at this point. Our camera angle is showing it very clearly, but as you're coming over that crest, you can see nothing at this point. And those guys have done brilliantly to avoid running into the back of one another, but that's really another spot that's so dangerous on this track.
Well, the other thing to say here, we talk a little bit, but probably not enough, about the improved safety standards in motor racing. That car, large impact that it was, behaved exactly as it should.
It did, and it's gone into that row of tyres there, but they're only too deep there, and then it's into a concrete wall, and that's the reason why it's ripped off this left front tyre. So it is just due to the way that the accident happened and the way that the car walked across the track.
Yep.
Then it got onto that curb, then it dragged through that little bit of gravel, then back onto the tarmac, which then grabbed it again and then spat it left, and then through the gravel, and then he was a passenger. But John's
out the car.
Yeah, it's John. He looked a little bit sort of ginger the way that he was getting out the car, but again, this one, he just starts to lose the rear, just here. And then he's chasing it and he's lost it. And he was kind of shallow on his exit. And he's already, the front axle was loaded and the rear was gone.
If you were here with the World Endurance Championship, it's a not dissimilar shunt that we saw from Michael Christensen in the factory Porsche. The only difference there is Michael actually bobbled over the curb to the inside. John lost that in the middle of the track.
Yeah, that's low pressures and low temperatures.
So how many are going to peel off to the right and potentially cause confusion? I think it's the better bet for the leaders in LMP2 to stay out for at least one lap, but there's plenty of LMP2 Pro-Am willing runners into the pit lane. It's arguably a bit more costly to keep your bronze behind the wheel of a Pro-Am car, so get them out. They've done nearly an hour and a half. Now the 1 hour 30 ticks over, so if you're in an LMGT3 car, you could theoretically get in with that drive time completed. And Clement Matter's lost the lead, hasn't he, already to Celia Martin. Yep. But we had Michael Jensen in from LMP3. All the GTs are staying out for the time being.
All of the LMP2 Pro-Ams have come in, as has lead export number 28 of Paul Lafargue, who is at the back of that field. But you're right, all of the LMGT3s stay out. That might just be just to anticipate a little bit of congestion in the pit lane, but we'll see first next time around. Célia Martin leads the race. It's gone around in second place, Martin Berry in third. Away they start to go for the LMP2 Pro-Am. Bit of a delay there for 99, needed to be pulled back with the car blocking his way out of the pits. Joop van Uite is aboard the 28 car. He rejoins the race. And it's going to be a big mix-up in the order for the LMP2 Pro-Ams. I can tell you, it looks to me like the 21 of United Autosports has made it out at the lead in the hands of Ollie Jarvis. Then it's the 3 from DKR, then Proton's Rennie Binder, then Algarve Pro's 20. It's disastrous here for ARBITF. Dane Cameron comes out and has dropped all the way back to 5th with that pushback. Then TDS's Clem Novalak and Alessia Rivera rejoins at the back of that group in 7th place. Oh, that's
sandwich
deep in there, and immediately, by the way,
anywhere.
57 and everybody behind the 57 are already on pit lane.
So that's good for them.
Yeah,
it is good, but it's not quite as good as it might be for 85, for instance, who's going to get in and do all of her pit stop, Célia Martin's pit stop, under a virtual safety car, because this VSC will be 2 laps worth.
Yeah.
So the slight gain is going to be for the top 7 cars that haven't yet made it in. But everybody else is going to be restricted to 80 kilometres per hour, or if you're Martin Berry's Mercedes, possibly 60 kilometres per hour. And he got the 2, well, we think he got the 2 speed limiters the wrong way round.
It's easy to do. It is easy to do, and you know, that's part of the thing of staying in the car that you're in. If you could be in it for the whole season and understand it and work through the driver manual and get all of that knowledge in your head, so that when you're under pressure, it's second nature. It's when you're under pressure that's when the mistakes start to be made, and you start grabbing at things, wondering which car am I in again.
Yeah.
If you're switching around between.
Racing again as they cross the control line. Nick Yellowly is going to surely make waves as well now, as he is in the yellow-fronted and third-placed into Europol competition car. Lorenzo Fluxer for Algarve Pro Racing running 4th, ahead of Ferdinand Habsburg after that pole position yesterday. Good dicing as well in LMGT3 with the new drivers, and Owen Bastard has wasted no time in getting ahead of Sarah Bovey. This is a place that she knows very well, of course.
There's the black pass going in the background here, comes down in the run down to La Source, grabs the ground that Sarah would have been looking to take. 2 quick pieces of updates. We watch this action unfolding. Black and orange flag for the car that brought out the virtual safety car, the United Autosports McLaren. It is the mechanical intervention. That car must come in for repair. The other one is to confirm that those penalties cannot be taken on a virtual safety car. So the 2 time additions, that was for the 43 and for the 77, will still need to be served, as will the drive-through.
Masson pulling out, this was a few moments ago, of the wheel tracks of Vlad Lomko, and will now go back to the lead of the race. We've not seen Masson lead it, but we have seen the 48 car in front of everybody else when it was in the hands of Oliver Gray.
They are very, very pacey today. Got turned around there. So that was the 60 car being turned around by
3.
The DKR.
Yeah, and
just got in a bit too deep.
Which, by the way, the same car under investigation for an unsafe release. So that's the latest addition to the workload for a hard-working race control this afternoon.
Vlad Lomko just struggling to get going here, and Esteban Masson is getting away. He's got Nick Yellowly, who is in an absolute rich vein of form at the moment, and I think it's not going to be long before he's going to be challenging him. Maybe that spot at the source he'll be eyeing up as a potential overtaking opportunity here. As he gets good drive off, is he going to be able to challenge? But maybe not so good.
2.2 seconds clear as they cross the line, so is getting away, and Nick Yellowly will be looking to do what he can to get ahead of Vlad Lomko, who's not on the leader's pace at the moment.
No, and Nick, I think, might be sizing him up as he comes down here into Eau Rouge and looking to get that draft up the hill, up the Camel Straight.
77 is now coming in to take that pit stop by the look of it, but that was a plus 10, or did he have a drive-through plus 10?
It was more than just a plus 10. No, having said that, no, I think that the awkward pit lane entry was just a plus 10.
It's the over and the under here. He's just trying to go round the outside, and nicely done by Nick Yellowly there. Beautifully done, well executed.
Spot on. started to actually size it up, but La Source ended up at the exit they got.
Dive bomb now. Ferdy Habsburg going round the outside of Vlad Lomko, and Vlad's just trying to fend him off, but he's got everybody queuing up here. Vector's just not switched on.
And how much of that is down to Vlad and how much of that is down to the car, it's also about how you treat the in-lap for the safety car and that first racing lap, but everybody else with slightly more LMP2 experience, arguably.
It could be that Vlad's just a little bit backed up here, just hasn't quite got the confidence from the car, hasn't managed to get the Goodyears sort of switched on.
There's a bundle of these guys, isn't there? Lorenzo Fluxa is in this queue, Ferdy Habsburg, Danny Ugadela as well is right there.
God, this is the move here where Yellowlee's looking to go up the inside and then round the outside at turn 6 and gets it done before they head down the hill into Brussels.
Drama potentially here for the championship leading car 17 in LMP3. Remember, a car that has maximum points for this season and could get the championship here this afternoon. A drive-through penalty, start infringement. Also, car 82, 10 seconds added to next pit stop for a jump start for the 82 car.
So are these from the original start of the race? You wouldn't be pinged necessarily for a jump start after a safety car restart.
That, by the way, is the Corvette.
Yeah, TF Sport.
These are things being checked back upon from 1 o'clock this afternoon. It just shows you how deep the in-tray has been in race control potentially, and then the run through the stewards. Very good speed out on the racetrack. At what time are we? Nearly 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Clearly the warmth of the asphalt is helping Esteban Masson. He's just set the fastest lap of the race with a 2:02.5, and also Ollie Jarvis in LMP2 Pro Am does the fastest lap within category for that race-leading 21 United Autosports car. To the outside goes the 29 within LMP2 Pro Am of a couple of battling LMP3s, and included in amongst that the 17 car that hasn't yet taken its drive-through penalty. However, Paul Lancher now leads that class, having got ahead of the 11 Euro International.
So Lancher, having made that move, then attempting to go by the lapped Racing Spirit Le Mans car, got a bit clattered. It was actually an outlap for Racing Spirit Le Mans.
Vlad Lomko's drop-off is less concerning now, so it's almost as if he's got into the sort of area. Having said that, Habsburg's all over the back of him, but he still can't get by. He's now down to the outside of the second bit of Le Combe, which gives him the inside line for turn 6.
Ballsy move, great stuff there.
Through goes the Austrian.
Yeah, brilliant. You know, he'd learned from Nick Yellowlee and what he could do, so he thought, right, I can do that and do it even better.
It's odd timing.
Yeah, I was just trying to compute exactly
what
they're doing.
Here is Flux's opportunity, and we'll get underneath, and potentially the 18 car is going to get involved as well.
He had to gamble there that the 10 car, the Vector car, was going to run wide like it had done all the previous laps. So Fluxa was really relying on that car running wide.
I'll tell you exactly what they've done, because they've done the same with the 77. They've pitted, they've served their time penalty and topped it up with fuel while the field is together. That's what they've done. They've got a full tank of fuel now, and they've served their penalties. Both the 77, which had that additional time penalty, and the 9, which did as well, pitted for 39 seconds.
So you're saying you're right?
I think so. It's a first.
I'm just going to mark that down.
Yeah, you should.
I'll just call Trudy and, yeah.
She's listening.
Always. Can't miss a race. Massive enthusiast.
That's the sound of your voice.
The inside of one of the Virage, or the Virage LMP3s, tries to go another scrap within LMP2. So Fluxa had to almost have 2 stabs at that.
He kind of gambled. He gambled and it paid off. Danny tried to follow him through but didn't quite make it stick, and so he's now the next one up behind the Vector car.
Can't close on a rampant Esteban Masson with that Toyota Gazoo Racing backing. He is very much on the factory programme.
Full course yellow.
Full course yellow, which closes the pits. So there isn't no longer an opportunity to capitalise on this neutralising of the race. That's because of a lot of debris at the top end of the Camel Straight.
Yeah, a bit of contact with somebody.
Day or 2 days, and that's Ugadea going around the outside of the 51, Ferrari on the inside.
Well, got Vlad Lomko in the process though. Yeah. So the orange and black E-Deck sport car, and E-Deck absolutely ecstatic at that. Finally get the cork out of the bottle and wriggle free of Vladislav Lonko.
Duquesne running a little bit through the gravel. That's allowed the 37 car to get alongside, and we'll get the inside line for Pouon. That move has come about by the 30 car in the hands of Roy Nissany, just running wide, two wheels of the gravel, losing a bit of momentum and losing a place as a result. He's gone off track there towards the inside, or the outside of the 86. Has not retained that position or regained that position.
Lots of GT cars now are on the Kemmel Straight, including the Iron Dames Sarah Bovey Porsche, who is third.
And trouble there for the Team Virage car. That's Daniel Nogales. Needs to get that back on and running, because that's a car in a very good position in this race, running second to a car under investigation at the moment, CLX Motorsport. An opportunity here for Team Virage. Incident between 29 and 99 under investigation. We saw that. It's actually turn 5. There's been another one.
Well, Nogales was ahead of the 17 as he spun, so the lead had changed very, very briefly. And yes, through the split, no, Nogales, because they've gone through the next split now as well, but Nogales was ahead. He was pushing really like crazy, and then too much, so spun himself out of the LMP3 lead. And as you say, got to get back into the rhythm as hurriedly as possible, because the 8 car is on course potentially for a really good result today.
Back into this order.
But in the process of that, driving in your slippers, you might actually need to give up some positions and just have the faith that the car that's just overtaken you is going to run out of fuel more quickly than you do.
Here. That's it. That is Esteban Masson trying to keep in the hunts. He's 18 seconds back from Nick Yellerly, and that is the GR Racing car, the 86 Ferrari. Cracking livery on that car, the black and orange highlights.
There wasn't a lot of wiggle room there for Masson, who surely must be thinking about an in-lap fairly shortly.
That, by the way, is the battle for second place. That's Ricky Perra, who's a young driver in his pomp at the moment and showing that he's got pace here. This is a battle for second place. He will need to pit, but perhaps a little bit of the gravel there as Danny Ucadella, I think it is still aboard. It is in third place in the EDEX Sport number 18. Is looking to do what he can about the two LMGT3 cars. Just looking to make sure that Ricky Perra has seen that he's there. He has. Now it's him through to the inside, and away they go. On pit lane now, Nick Yellerly from the lead. Stellar stint from him.
So Masson does stay out. We've got a spinning car, which
it's
is
the 60 car and the 74. The 60 car has stopped on the outside, the exit, driver's left of the final turn.
So presumably they've clashed.
There you go, you see it.
The bumper of the 60 car is well out of alignment.
What happened here?
So it's 60 into the back of the 74.
Oh,
not quite, side to side. And then there was the hit to the front of the port, and even more of a hit then as well. So a bit of afters as the 60 Porsche pulled out of the chicane. That's Alessio Picariello in the Proton competition car, and Miguel Molina. Now, was Molina wanting the pit lane?
I thought I'd just seen him go down the pit lane.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Was he trying to also get across to the pits, but being steered left?
He's not in the. He's completed the lap,
but not in the pits. Right. Okay. So he went actually the other side of the bollard.
Oh, someone else in trouble. That is a P3 car.
Yeah.
I think that's the Ultimate car, the 35.
And Ultimate has just made the end of that first sector with Jean-Baptiste Lahaye at the wheel.
By the way, we still have not heard any outcome for the 17 car.
Indeed, that's still hovering, isn't it?
That is still a penalty looming. At the moment, they sit there in a position that will earn them the championship in 64 minutes' time. But it could be very different for them today. It's all going to depend, not what's happening on track right now, but what did and didn't happen on track about half an hour ago.
Esteban Masson, as expected, pitting at the end of lap 62, had to prepare for full course yellow. Blimey, do you imagine if the full course yellow had been announced moments before, but I reckon Masson made it in just before.
He did. He did. We're not into full course yellow yet. We are now.
No, but the prepare for full course yellow is when the pit lane closes, not when the full course yellow starts.
I think he was on pit lane, and by the way, Algarve Pro Racing are also on pit lane, and that may well have been after the prepare for full course yellow.
That is close, Graham. Prepare for full course yellow at 3:56 and 12 seconds. Esteban Masson entered pit lane. I have it 6 seconds later. This could be really costly. We can't call it because the time values are too small for everything to be accurate. And this is inside the final hour of a enthralling Spa-Francorchamps 4 hours, with hopefully all of the LMP2s having made their final stops, bearing in mind their last drivers have to do a minimum of 60 minutes drive time. So these cars on an outlap now: Charles Lacey in 48, Mathis Jobert in the 18 car second, and Theo Pourchaire in the 25 car, who will fit back into third in LMP2, fourth overall.
I think they're all okay. The one note to the 2 points to make there was the itchy trigger finger there, off trigger foot of Matteo Capietto. Seemed to get on the throttle before Tom Blomqvist, and has taken 10th position in LMP2. That's down in 15th and 16th place. But also, we're talking about this business around whether or not the prepare for full course yellow timing suited the cars that came onto pit lane. The one that's in doubt appears to be the 25 car, under investigation, full course yellow infringement.
A Mercedes ahead of Aston Martin, which is Fabian Schiller in the 63 car, leading Valentin Haas-Close Racing Spirit of Le Mans Aston.
Oh, that was just a touch, I think, side to side with the AF Corsa car. And then the yellow at turn 1. That's the Ginetta.
Second place. Was there a touch between he and Ian Aguilera? Mikkel Pedersen now facing the wrong way and trying to loop it around as quickly but as safely
Probably as he
as
can't
possible.
see from the position in spun. Now he can.
Yeah.
That's going to be costly though.
But he's lost third to Julien Henrion. Ian Aguilera got through. It was an Aguilera move, and he went late dive bombing, and there was contact.
Oh, now which way are they going to look at that?
So Aguilera does get away first into second, but now is he culpable for causing that incident? And has the Ginetta actually left the scene, is the next question.
Just looking, has not cleared the first timing.
Henrion hasn't either, but we know Henrion is now ahead.
Henrion has.
He has now, yes.
Looking for what happens. Where is the little Ginetta?
And Pedersen's gone through as well.
He has. He's lost a lot of time, but yes. It doesn't quit this one. Mathis Jobert, by the way, all of a sudden we can get excited about. He's just done the fastest lap of the EDEC Sport car, the 18 cars race so far. He's 5.5 seconds back from race leader Charles Lacey, who's also, by the way, in the 203s, half a second. Look at this. And this time, Valentin Haas-Close gets a good run up and over. And I think, has he got the ponies? Has he got the aero? Has he got the guts here under braking? Fab Schiller takes it under braking through Lecombe. But whatever happens here, that won't be allowed to stand. Fab Schiller retakes the position on as even.
Just showed that the Aston Martin actually was the faster car in maybe fourth gear, and then as they picked up the pace up the Kenmore Straight into the higher gears, the Mercedes fought back at the Aston. So similar mindset in terms of car design, but Schiller didn't need to brake that much later than the Aston to retain the position.
Rino Sato pits for United Autosport's 21 car from the lead in LMP2 Pro-Am. That puts Alex Quinn at this stage into the lead of the class and 6th overall. I think the championship's here, and he got a better run there.
Well, Aguilera's exit wasn't great, so now they're going to draw level, and Clomanil, if he turns in at Pouon, is still going to be two abreast.
Touch.
And Aguilera's not going to let him back in. The Porsche might be a disadvantage as well. For actually both cars, great car control from Clomanil. He could very easily have swapped ends there in the 17 car. They'll both get underneath the Iron Dames Porsche, which incidentally is 4th in GT, and that is Michel Gatting.
Meantime, 24, Nielsen Racing, Felipe Albuquerque from 5th overall makes his final stop with 26 minutes to go. And we believe all the cars currently ahead of him still need to stop.
Exciting, by the way, for the future of Iron Dames to have Michel Gatting in a Nürburgring race last weekend on the Saturday.
I think obviously doing the ring, I don't think it's her first race there. I think that's a second race.
Could well have been.
And is it races? You're the expert here. Races or laps now for the ring permit? I think it's successful laps completed, I think. It's laps without incidents within a pace.
That makes more sense.
But I think it's got to be in 2 different events, I think.
And always in the lower category so that you can get your licence. Now late on the brakes, Clomanil to the outside line and making sure that the Ferrari... Oh, there was contact somewhere.
I wonder if that was just a piece of debris from the earlier incident that was kicked up there.
Possibly.
But, what's not helped there is the passage of the unlinked Proton car. The number 9 car goes blasting through, but who's going to get the better run over the top? Through Radion, down the Kemmel Straight. Here comes another LMP2 car. Is Rateau available? They've not taken it if there was. I think they prefer to keep the fight amongst themselves.
Lilu Wadu, that blue and white Ferrari, on for a podium for Richard Mille, of course.
It's been a great run from them from pretty much nowhere. And at some point, Lilu has gone by Michel Gatting. Here we go. This was the moment. I think they possibly run over some debris. Oh, it's a 17!
In the gravel at Le Combe.
Is it just the 17?
Is the next question, because Clomanil has potentially tangled with Ian Aguilera, but has the CLX car taken the Euro International car with it?
No, not there. Let's have a look. Let's see if we get the wider shot. I think it's the one car there. No, he's done it by himself. He's made the error. Oh, that is absolutely horrible. Look, Radrian Clomanil. He got away with it at Pouon going wide. That's the emotion.
They've given the car fresh tyres. We all thought actually Clomanil was in the better position, therefore. So it's going to be a full course yellow in order to extract Clomanil's car.
Full course yellow in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
This is going to be at least
5,
a lap lost, even
4,
if the car can rejoin.
3,
absolutely
2,
right.
1. Full course yellow. We are under full course yellow.
Right, so also while that's going on, Argyle Pro Racing's 20 car in the hands of Alex Quinn is on pit lane, and we got there in time before full course yellow was called. This is what caused the issue. He had his mirrors full of the sister car in LMP2. I think he was looking to stay out the way, got on the dirty stuff, and could not take the corner.
17, tell your driver we're going to hoist him with a forklift and we'll put him back on track.
Those
full course
gaps
yellow will be removed in 10.
That are retained.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full course yellow removed. Full course yellow removed.
And 14 minutes of the 4 hours of Spa-Francorchamps still to enjoy, the 4th of 6 races in the 2025 European Le Mans Series. Glorious sunshine now at 4:45 in the evening. And depending on where you are around the racetrack, you can either get back up the speed or you'll have to be slowing for one of the tight and twisty bits of this superb race circuit. It's Charles Milesi, though, who leads out of the latest intervention on lap 82. He has an advantage of over 20 seconds to Théo Pourchaire's Algarve Pro Racing car, but it's VDS Panis Racing, the championship leaders, in the box seat.
The LMP2 Pro race leaders, AO by TF, indeed did need fuel. They've come in. Algarve Pro Racing take the lead. TDS Racing inherits second place as the 99 tumbles down. Here comes the race leader. 13 minutes to go, Johnny Palmer, and fuel will be required for the number 48 car.
So Pourchaire trailing this car by 10 seconds now that we're back up to full speed. And car 25 now, we're hearing about a 3-minute stop-and-go penalty for violating entering the pit lane during the full course yellow. We said at the time that car 25 was going to be investigated for that. Remember, it's the announcement of a full course yellow, not when the FCY begins, and they pitted after the announcement.
And also, now it comes, car 11, Euro International, a drive-through penalty and a penalty point for causing a collision. That's way too late, though, because the 17 car is out of this race, and the title battle will go on to Silverstone.
And what happened to the Mercedes leading LMGT3? It's run a little bit wide coming out of turn 9. How close is the Aston in behind? Wasn't able to capitalise because the gap's grown a touch more. 31 LMP3 car now on pit road, but hasn't made the team. So Marius Fossard, is that fuel He's shooting
Oh,
now. Here
wow.
comes a Mercedes from the lead. So Fabian Schiller is in.
Well,
and that will give the race lead for the time being to Valentin Haas-Clos. Now remember, there was that off-track moment, so has that punctured a tyre for the Mercedes?
Is it fuel? What has gone on there? You'd have thought with it's fuel.
Well, surely, therefore, the 59 Aston Martin's going to be in a similar
You would have
boat.
thought so, unless they've, for whatever reason, not been able to save fuel. 31 is being pushed down pit lane. It's been a wretched day for them as well, I'm afraid.
Well, we talked about this when these cars pitted with an hour and 8 or so minutes to go. Could you get to the finish? And I said it's going to be a bit sketchy. Well, has there been sufficient fuel saved for Haas-Clos? It is a tough gamble, and clearly Iron Lynx don't want to get involved with that. They'd much rather get the fuel in, go beyond the element of doubt, and make sure they're going to make the finish. If we're thinking about beginning the last lap next time around, then the GT cars that still need fuel have surely got to get in at the end of this, their current lap, because otherwise they're going to find themselves stranded in the pit lane, and you cannot complete a race in the pit lane. Surprise, surprise, you've got to cross the control line on the racetrack.
Well, that's Haas-Clos just been overtaken by the overall race leader, who's coming round to complete his 87th lap with 2 minutes on the clock. Aston Martin has to be down pit lane this time, and we believe too, so does the pink Porsche, the Iron Dames car.
So for the final time, the 59 Racing Spirit of Le Mans Aston Martin is in for the quickest blast of fuel you can possibly imagine.
You know what, Bentock could take a podium here, right at the end. In comes the Aston Martin. Needs to be super quick. Here comes the Mercedes AMG of Fab Schiller. Is he going to make it through in time?
Away it goes now.
Oh, this is going to be tight.
Dames need to pit as well, remember.
There comes the AMG. There go the Dames into the pit lane. Where is this going to emerge? This could go down to the last corner.
Yeah.
We could have drama here at the bus stop.
Well, the Aston pitting, 2 laps later
there
than Mercedes has given it the track position. But, well, remember, tyres are up to temperature, so there's no issue there. Let's hope that the Aston's been given enough fuel. There are 1 or 2 at Iron Lynx that can't take it anymore, and now potentially a hazard at the end of the lap again at the bus stop chicane, but that won't worry these 2 drivers, because Schiller has got Haas-Clos in his sights, and he could potentially get a much better run on the Aston Martin up the Kemmel Straight. Can't see the Mercedes because it's entirely eclipsed by the Aston that leads, but the Aston just faints to the middle of the road.
It's the one move he's permitted. That's a racing line. He'll argue, should it be necessary. This is going to be some lap.
And we're on the final lap for Charles Lacey, still leading by just under 10 seconds over Mathis Jobert. Tom Tillman on for a podium in Inter Europol Competition's 43 car.
Second place car in LMP2 Pro Am is on pit lane. TDS Racing. How close is Marino Sato to Matthias Besch? We'll see how that one pans out in just a few moments. I think he's clear enough.
Bentuck has moved on to the podium provisionally because Michel Gatting rejoins in behind the 57 Kessel Racing Ferrari. How much do Iron Lynx want to risk here? They had a non-finish at Imola where Lorcan Hannafin and teammate did not even get to drive. Here's the race winner though, championship leaders coming into Spa-Francorchamps. They score the maximum points at the 4 Hours of Spa today. VDS, Panis Racing, winners, Charles Lacey, Esteban Masson, and a terrific opening couple of stints from Oliver Gray. Second place to Edex Sport and Mathis Jobert. Aston still leads Mercedes in GT.
Change for second LMP2 Pro Am. United Autosports up to second, AO by TF into third with that last minute stop for TDS Racing.
And in LMP3, the second and third place cars are already home because they fall a lap behind the number 8 crew, who just need to stroke it home from here. It's been one almighty challenge in the GTs, but excellent strategy from Racing Spirit of Le Mans to leave it to the last possible moment. They pitted the final time past pit lane, couldn't have done it the next lap around because they would have been a non-finisher, ending the race in the pit lane. Terrific from Valentin Haas-Clos and his teammates in car 59, Clément Matter, who started, Owen Bastard in the middle. And in the meantime,
LMP2 Pro Am, for the time being at least, to lend to this, it is Alex Quinn and
Ollie Caldwell.
Ollie Caldwell take the win. I think there's still an investigation, but they'll call them home, as we should, as the winners.
And we're still waiting for Rick Cohn to appear out of the bus stop chicane to secure a victory for Team Virage in LMP3. Julien Gerby and Daniel Nogales are also in that car. Nogales, remember, got to the race lead briefly, then spun at Les Combes out of that race lead, but the huge drama and the eventual demise of the number 17 car has rather opened the door for the Spanish squad. A Polish squad, I should say. Why do I call them Spanish? Anyway, at the 8 car, out of the final corner and across the line.
Final finisher.
There you go, yes. Final finisher, but a winner in LMP3.
And that, by the way, is the lap that I think Vector Sport will wish they'd had, because I don't think we've got the right driver time for Pietro Fittipaldi.
So an awful lot happening, particularly in that final 90, 100 minutes, really. We only reached 88 laps in the race in total, but the championship leaders will extend the gap after another win.
Well, there's the overall order, and that drama extended to post-race with that post-race penalty called for Edec Sport across the line in second place, but they won't finish in the order there with some kind of full course yellow infringement. VDS Palace Racing from Inter Europol's 43 car and Nielsen Racing on the podium. Algar Pro Racing's number 20 car takes the Pro-Am LMP2 win ahead of United Autosports and AO by TF. Team Virage in a topsy-turvy LMP3 race from RLRM Sports and Inter Europol. And in that last-minute bundle, Racing Spirit Le Mans fend off the Iron Lynx AMG in their Aston Martin, with Kessel Racing's 57 car, the car guy back car, making it to the podium after a last gasp stop for the Iron Dames for fuel. But I think they're still going to be very much in the hunt for the LMGT3 title fight. And I think that's going to be led by the Aston Martin after that performance. This has been such a topsy-turvy season in LMGT3. No one's had consistency.